So if you're a service-based business, a flat rate VAT, although you see that lovely low percentage rate, it may not actually be the right way for you to do VAT. Seeing that low percentage rate makes so many people think, great, let's do this, it's going to be so much cheaper. But you actually often miss the small print and this thing called low cost trader, and it's catching loads of people out and landing you with massive tax bills later down the line. So I want to stop you from doing that and getting yourself into trouble, and explain a little bit more about what this is. So this thing called low cost business or low cost trader was brought in April 17 because the VAT man realised that everyone was using these lovely low percentages and they wasn't getting enough VAT typically. So it was all brought in to stop this and obviously to bring more VAT into the system. So what it is you need to spend a certain amount on relevant goods, including VAT. So if you're buying things, and they've got to be physical goods, they're movable items, and they're materials used exclusively in your business, and you need to spend more than 2% on these things, 2% of your turnover on these things each year to be able to qualify to use the other rates. And if you don't spend that 2%, then you are going to be classed as a low cost business or low cost trader. And what that means is you then have to use the rate of 16.5%, which doesn't sound too great, does it? Let's be honest. And when you do the maths, which obviously we have, it turns out that you're actually giving HMRC a hell of a lot more money. And actually by doing the normal VAT, where everyone charges 20%, but where you do the normal VAT returns, where you take your 20% sales less your 20% purchases on everything that you purchase with VAT on, you're actually going to be a lot better off. So in the blog, we've got loads of information and examples of what these relevant goods are. But just to give you an idea, it needs to be, as I said before, physical movable items. So it can't be things like travel, accommodation, accountancy fees, rent, internet, phone bills, things like that. It can't be gifts, promotional items. It can't be things that you will resell or hire out, unless that's your main business activity, of course. And it can't even be capital items are included in that. So things that it does include, I suppose, might be a little bit easier. The things it does include would be stationery and office supplies to be used exclusively in the business, stock for a shop, cleaning products for the business, hair products if you're providing hairdressing services, standard software provided on a disc. I don't know why that's still in the list. I probably should take that one out. But if anyone ever does actually buy software on a disc anymore, that's included. And things like that. So it's all going to be in the blog, all the details, but it's just going to be things like that. And there's not going to be a full list because I'm sure there's going to be many things that I've forgotten about and not included. But you get my point. It has to be physical, movable objects, not services. And especially if you're a service-based business, actually, you'll be surprised at how little you spend on physical things. Especially like for us, we're digital. We don't do stationery. So all of that sort of stuff we don't do. And many other service-based businesses don't do that anymore either, or not a huge amount either. So especially if you're service-based, please do check this out, because we've had it with a few clients where we've brought them on and they've said they're using the flat rate at this lovely low percentage and they've had these lovely low VAT bills, and we've had to give them that unfortunate news that actually they've been doing it wrong and they've got to pay a huge amount to the taxman, which we hate telling people, but obviously we want to keep you safe and compliant and keeping the taxman happy, because we don't want you to come back or anything to come back and bite you on the bum. So if you've got any questions about VAT, especially flat rate VAT, that's a bit of a tongue twister, then please do get in touch and we will do our best to help you.